their name that just, it sounds great. Rolls right off your lips. Yours, not mine, right? Tell us what you guys do. What's your website?
Our website is vaion.com, vaion.com.
And what do you guys do?
We're a new entrant in the video security space. We do an end-to-end video security solution, VMS, cameras, and server. We founded our company at the beginning of last year because we thought it was time to move to a more proactive security model. So our solution is different in how it uses embedded machine learning to actually understand what all these cameras see.
Right.
It looks for objects, events, and anomalies, and it alerts operators to suspicious activities so that they can catch threats before they become incidents, or find what they're looking for much faster in minutes or seconds instead of days.
So real time is now almost real time.
Yes.
Minutes and seconds. I mean, that's close enough
so
for me.
it's real time. So what we do is we do analytics on all the video streams from all the cameras all the time and in real time, and we do it at scale. So it scales both technically and commercially, which means that you have this pervasively across your deployment, so you can understand what all the cameras see all the time, and thereby sort of catch incidents earlier and point the operators' attentions to where they should be looking. And
now, when I first started talking about this maybe 5 years ago, it was, I'm going to point this system at my cameras. How long is it going to take to learn? Oh, a couple months, 5 months, 6 months, And now all of a sudden we're down to what? What is I get how many cameras is involved as part of it. Let's look at one camera. How long is it going to take for the machine learning to get that camera up to speed so it's fairly accurate in what it's looking at?
I think you can think about that in two ways. So first, it's already pre-learned what it should look for. So it's pre-learned what the person looks like, and it's pre-learned what the vehicle looks like. It's
the software has done that.
It's done that already. So
because back in the day, you had to kind of create it, didn't you?
From day zero, that's available.
Okay.
And then it takes about a week or two to learn what's usual activity and unusual activity. So for example, when is it normal to have people present? Where is it normal to have people present? What sort of movement patterns should I expect? That takes a week or two. But you get the sort of the basic recognition of events and objects right out of the box.
Now, explain to me how the end user participates in that and contributes. I get that the camera can learn things on its own, but I'm the operator, and do I want to say, listen, that's Mr. Murdoch's parking space. Absolutely, under no circumstances should any car be in there. Mm-hmm. I want to be number one priority. Because believe me, parking in a studio can get you fired, right? So can it do that kind of thing?
It can. So I think again, sometimes you know what you're looking for.
Right.
You know that you're looking for a car or for somebody moving or some pattern, and you can set rules and policies for the system to look for that. But you also need something, if you want to do this pervasively, you can't sit and sort of input everything in the world that you would like to look at across your full installation. So you also need to automate this. And right. Deploy sort of learning pervasively. So you need to be able to do both, basically.
How easy is it getting for my basic security officer at the desk to interact with this sort of VMS software nowadays? Because you know what, at 3 o'clock in the morning, he's the guy that's there in the building. Not the computer programmer, not the IT guy, and he might have to watch a monitor, and there may be some large event that is triggered and sets off an alarm and he has to respond to. How easy is that user interface?
It's easy. So I think this in general needs to be easier throughout the sort of customer experience journey. So it needs to be easier to buy, fewer options, just needs to be embedded. It needs to be easier to deploy, no calibration,
right.
Nothing like that. And it needs to be easier to use. It needs to be as a smarter car that has a sort of a blind zone assistant and that tells you that there's a car next to you, so you shouldn't change lines,
right.
or something that alerts you to a car in front of you that's braking. It just needs to be there and just super intuitive to use, no training.
Now, would you say your software is agnostic and you can sit on top of anybody's camera system?
Yes, so it's an open solution that works with our own cameras or with third-party cameras, either with Only for proprietary protocols. And then, so it's open and works with others. It is a VMS that has embedded AI and machine learning, so it's not
right.
an analytics plug-in to other VMSs. And we're doing that because we think that this type of smartness is so critical to the future experience, so it really needs to be a core part of the product. It's a bit again like smarter cars. You can't go and buy a car from 1990 and then go to Best Buy and get some cameras and an
right.
iPad and load some software and think you have a smarter car. It's so important to the core function that it needs to just be embedded and there all the time.
So back in the day, I might have installed 200 cameras someplace. I didn't have any use for cameras because I'd have to put a guard there to watch it. The guard can't watch it 8 hours. He can watch it 2 hours before his eyes roll up in his head. And if my laptop was stolen, guess what? It's not here. I know that. I don't need a camera to tell me that, right? And you configure a teeny little pinhead, which I couldn't use for identification. Right? Now I think cameras are the number one security device because of this.
Yes, so it's,
right.
it's
This
like-
is where we are. You can really make that. If all you had was cameras, you could really get by.
Yeah, so I think you need to. There's so many cameras out there that now record great video. What you need to do is you need to get more value out of what you
More
already
value
have.
out of it, right?
Because all these videos just being stored, you're just using it for reactive purposes. It takes you ages to look through the
Right.
footage. But if you have AI as a sort of I like to think of it as a virtual assistant or a sidekick to the person using the system.
Good
to
way to
make
say
them
it,
much
yeah.
much more effective.
Any plans to take the VMS camera part and tie it into my access control system?
Yes, definite short-term plans to do that as well.
You're working on that.
We are. So I think
I
in general,
suspected you would
this-
be.
when you want to understand better what's going on, you need to be agnostic about where you get the data from.
Right.
Video cameras, that's one thing, but access control events is another. But other sensors too, temperature, humidity, Wi-Fi. You need to just sort of gather a lot of data and parse and understand that and use that to improve
Any
safety and
challenges
security.
with GDRP in Europe? Any privacy issues where cameras are now becoming, you know what? It's not just picture view in public. That's your right to not use it on my video system. Does that factor into the way you program things?
Yeah, yes, it is, and I like to not see it as a challenge, but as an opportunity. And I think customers should expect when they do gather more information about what's going on, they should match that with the improvements in privacy. So
Okay,
you need to
good.
think about that. You need to protect your data from a cybersecurity perspective. You need to have good audit logs. You need to do privacy masking or anonymization where you don't actually need to see faces and people. So I think that's something that needs to go hand in hand with smartness.
Brilliant. Give us your website one more time.
Vion.com, VAION.com.
And your name, sir.
Tormod Re.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
Very good. Very interesting product. Back a minute here at GSX 2019, live from Chicago on SecurityGuideTV.com and ASISTV.org.